Next one's from Mike Durbin. The subject is CM Punk's return. Hola, Konnan. Hey, Yins, Joe. Hola, Konnan. Glenn, while I agree with you roughly 97% of the time, I think you're wrong about CM Punk returning. You can count me in with your estimate of 80% of wrestling fans who completely stopped watching WWE over the last few years. I was done shortly after Punk left in 2014. If he were to come back to wrestling, I would start watching again. I've never watched 1 minute of AEW, but I would start if Punk showed up there. Also, I could care less about his losses in UFC. I respect him for trying something he had a passion for, and in my eyes, it does no damage to his wrestling character at all. From Mike Durbin. And P.S. I ordered the Legacy test stack from my good friend Nick Aldis Legacy Subs using the code K100 for 10% off. Just a few weeks of being on it, I feel 12 times more masculine than before. I encourage all K100 listeners to buy some Legacy Subs. Let me read it. This is my final position on Punk. Okay, I've stated that I think it's relevant in this conversation to talk about his UFC career. A lot of people think it doesn't matter, but I think it's relevant to discuss because I would think a lot of people that do not watch wrestling right now are the people who are trying to come back. So they're not in this conversation, and I would wonder what their perception is based on what Punk's done in UFC, whether it would affect him. It's an angle, all right? Number two, just like Konnan said, and I agree with this. If they bring back Daniel Bryan, if they bring back CM Punk, it's going to do a boost, but they have to do good TV because every single time wrestling gets an audience, the trend has been 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, it's kind of back down to normal again. All right. So what happens is because they bring guys in sometimes and it's like you watch and it's like you're taking too much time with this. And perfect example, Sting. Sting was a perfect example. Bro, they brought Sting in, and what did he do like the first 4, 5, 6 weeks that we were talking about it? Like saying
absolutely nothing.
Walked out.
Absolutely nothing. Okay. So
and let me throw this caveat. I actually, because you gave up on him real quick, but I actually was like, okay, let's, it's his first few appearances. He doesn't really have to do much. But really, even to this day, you think about what has really Sting meant. Right.
And my question is you bring a commodity in that's drawing you interest, you can't stick him in and say, okay, we're going to do a long-term story here. It's like, no, you've got an audience of people right now because he's coming back and he's drawing. Make it hot right off the bat.
If they don't have a good idea for him, I'm thinking that CM Punk, who hasn't wrestled since, he just said 2014, so it's like 7 years, and he's gonna come back. He ain't gonna come back to no lame shit, and he's probably gonna have a lot of creative control. And I'm sure it's gonna be something good. I'm thinking it's gonna be something good because he's gonna have a lot of input in it.
Right. So, but my whole thing will be, I'd obviously give it some time, right, and everything. But I think we will know. You'll hear the vibes from the people. If they do some flat stuff with them, you're going to see people.
Are they ever going to hear it? Yeah.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then they might motivate them to do more. Right. So it's like we'll know. We'll know immediately. Right. But my whole thing is, I'm not saying it's going to. My whole thing is, I never say it's going to fail. It's definitely going to gain interest. But we have to see what they do. So we'll see.